Welcome to the Money Market Show. I'm your host, Paul LeJoy. This is the channel that you want to come to if you're a real estate agent, and if you're an investor or buyer or seller even. Because on this channel, this YouTube channel, I'm going to bring some valuable information for you that's going to educate you and all that kind of stuff. So today we're going to talk about myself. So let's go. Here I titled this Paul LeJoy, the Realtor's best friend in the mortgage industry. The Realtor's best friend in the mortgage industry. The Realtor's best friend in the mortgage industry. Why do I say this? Why do I make such an outrageous claim? Realtor's best friend in the mortgage industry. What's a best friend? Somebody who's there for you all the time. Even when the going gets tough, that person is there for you. The Realtor's best friend in the mortgage industry. So that means that's deep. It's really deep. That I am there for you. Okay? And now we're going to give you some reasons why I believe I am your best friend in the mortgage industry. Let's go. Number one, I know real estate like the back of my hand. I know real estate like the back of my hand. It started in 2001 when I moved to California. 2002, I bought my first home in Manteca, too far away from the Bay Area. So that's why I bought my first property. When I bought the property, the realtor took me there at noon. So we came back and said the traffic is not that bad. Yeah, okay, cool. I moved to Manteca, and the commute was killing me. Oh my goodness! Some days, guess what? I would just sleep in someone's couch, and some days I would sleep in the office because I don't want to drive back to Manteca. But guess what? Because I was driving that long distance, I bought a CD set by the man called Cotton Sheets. He is the no money down guru. No money down. And that is how I became extremely knowledgeable about real estate. Because as I drove for about 2 hours every day, 2 hours to work and 2 hours back to Manteca, I would listen to the CDs profusely. So I learned a lot about real estate, especially investing. And then Cotton Sheets encouraged, why don't you get a license? You should get a license. So I got a license, right? In 2005. In 2007, I became a broker, a real estate broker. And in 2009, okay, let me go back a little bit. 2008. So I quit my full-time job. You know, my first transaction in 2005, April 2005, was $925,000. $925,000 in Hayward Hills. I did not even know how to write a contract. Who bought it? A friend of mine just told me, hey, Paul, I got a listing. And he was in San Jose. And this listing was in Hayward Hills. At that time, the MLS was not together. So he told me about this listing. And I said, yeah, give me a flyer. I knew nothing about listings even. I didn't know what was a listing. Okay. So he gave me a flyer. Some fireworks. Some people are crazy there. So if you hear some noise, it's not a gun. Some fireworks. You know, they should not be doing that. Okay. So anyways, so the guy gave me a flyer, and I took the flyer to my place of work. Okay, and there was a colleague who was interested in buying the property, so they drove there themselves and they bought the property. That was my first sale. And then she asked me to list her condo in Dublin. I listed a condo in Dublin. Okay. And that was my first listing. I did not even know how to put anything in the ground. Man, this is annoying. The noise. Come on. Okay. So I did that. And then I sold that. I got 8 offers on that property. And who bought the property? One of my colleagues also. So from that first deal, I got 8 deals. Not 8 deals, but 3 deals. My first sale, my first listing, and my first double ending. Wow, that's amazing. So by November that year, I quit my full-time job as a program management manager at Cinex. I quit my full-time job and went straight into real estate because I love real estate, going to different parts of the Bay Area. But that was a mistake, right? Because what happened in 2008, the market crashed. And when the market crashed, I thought, man, what did I do? Why did I quit a full-time job? I thought I should throw in the towel and move to Asia. Move back to Asia, where I came from. I'm not Asian, but I lived there for some time in Taiwan. I was going to create something with my California experience. I was going to create a company called California American English Academy. California American English Academy. I would start raking money from day one. Okay? I'll start making money from day one, cash. And I'll do it in China and Taiwan. But instead of doing that, I decided, you know what? When the going gets tough, the tough get going. So I went ahead and started doing what they call BPOs, broker price opinions. Broker price opinions. And now, guess what? With that, I started getting properties. My first listing was in Modesto. And then I had 6 in Vallejo. I didn't know where these places were. I knew where Modesto was because I used to live in Manteca. But Vallejo, I didn't know where it was. Then I had listings also in San Jose. Can you imagine that? I had listings all over the place. 2009 was like one of the best years of mine in the real estate industry. I became the number 1 area broker for city mortgage in entire Northern California. 2010, everybody wanted to become an area agent. It was time for me to get out. So we had to deal with, remember Occupy Wall Street? So people protesting against all these banks foreclosing on properties. So, okay, we're smart enough. So we decided, okay, if you can't beat them, join them, right? So there was this company called the Community First Development Fund, and that was fund number 3. So we're buying properties directly from Wells Fargo and from Chase, fixing them up and putting them back on the market, right, to first-time home buyers. And so oftentimes these first-time home buyers will buy those properties with no money down. They'll get a first loan. And at that time, remember, they were buying them for only $200,000. We were buying them for less than $100,000, fixing them up, and selling them for less than $200,000. So they were buying them with only 3.5% down. Actually, not 3.5% down. They were buying them at 96.5% first mortgage, FHA. And then they'll get the rest of the money from the city, maybe even more. So the cities will give them a down payment assistance. And all they required to do was basically live in those houses for 5 years. And then the second loan will be forgiven. That's what it was. That's my history. So now, today we're talking about Paul LeJoy, the realtor's best friend in the mortgage industry. So I gave you a little picture there of me, how it started. Now fast forward to 2017. 2017, okay. Remember in 2011, 12, 13, we're selling properties to these first-time home buyers. Now 2017, those properties had so much value in them. So what do? So the typical realtor, you go and door knock, right? And say, would you like to sell your home? And what these people said, if I sold my home, where would I go? Okay, where would they go if they sold their homes? All right, so what we did was basically, I felt like I'm leaving a lot of money on the table. We just sold these houses to these people for very little down, and now those houses are triple in value. So would they like to sell? Of course they didn't want to sell. So that's why I decided to create the Money Market Inc. in 2017 and named it the Amazon for Mortgage Solutions to serve the needs of realtors and their clients. So some lenders only cater to a particular class of people, but I felt like the approach was too limiting. I wanted my company to be a replica of Amazon, providing a whole gamut of mortgage solutions to realtors and their clients. These solutions range from no money down programs for first-time home buyers and even investors. We have that. Okay, and then of course, people with low FICO scores as well as people with high FICO scores. So we cater to a whole gamut of borrowers. Okay, so when I was a real estate broker and I had so many agents, all these lenders will come to my company and they'll talk about QM loans, conventional loans, VA loans. We'll talk about these loans that I don't even remember. But nobody talked about non-QM loans. And you might be listening to this or watching this. As a real estate agent, you don't know what a non-QM loan is. A lot of agents don't know. And you may have been in the industry for a long time, but you don't know what a non-QM loan is. So if you don't know that, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. Okay? And so I felt like there is something that I could provide to help real estate agents and their clients. So guess what? We now cater to give loans that are based on bank statements, loans based on 1099 only, loans based on P&L only, P&L statements only, and different kinds of loans. So now I fund loans that are fix and flips. If I knew about these kinds of loans, guess what? There's no way I would have done all those loans that I did before on hard money and just stayed on hard money. Okay, I would have just refinanced them right away into bank statement loans. You don't need any 1099s. You don't need any tax returns. You don't need any W-2s. These kinds of loans are there. So becoming the number one provider right now for those kinds of loans in the Bay Area and catering to people like you, realtors, so that you can fund or you can provide more solutions for your clients. Now you can close more transactions. Now you're not only catering to people with W-2s, but you're catering to people who are self-employed, who are small business owners. Now, can you see that? Any strip mall that you go to, you see a lot of people who have restaurants, okay, nail salons, dentists, chiropractors. All these are self-employed people that may not have W-2s, but they have bank statements. Provide those. And we're able to fund locally, nationally, as well as internationally in some cases. In fact, I say if I can't fund a loan, perhaps no one can. And sorry for the noise out there because I got people outside my office. I'm in a strip mall, by the way. And so that's what you get sometimes, homeless people. Anyways, so the other thing is, today we'll talk about me being the realtor's best friend in the mortgage industry. Because, first of all, I'm like you. I know real estate. So this one, I'm obsessed about your success. So I said, I know your pain and I know your aspirations. I've been a realtor, I've been a real estate agent, a real estate broker for many years. So I know, and I had a lot of agents. So I know what their pain is. And I know what their aspirations are. A lot of people leave their full-time jobs because they want that freedom. And they want to have money. Okay? So I'm here to meet your aspirations. Alright? To fulfill your aspirations. That's why one of the things I do is provide those mortgage solutions that cater to your W-2 employees, as well as your self-employed borrowers, and increasing your spectrum of borrowers that you can work with or buyers can work with, making sure that your pipeline is always full. Okay. And what I'll do is basically, when you introduce your client to me, I will have a Zoom call with them so I can understand them, or I can meet them in person in my office so I can understand their needs and how can we fulfill their needs, especially if you're self-employed people. Okay. Because the majority of my business right now is self-employed. So I want you as an agent to start to cater to self-employed people. When was the last time that you went to a strip mall? And when's the last time you sold a property to a self-employed person? When's the last time you sold a property to even a realtor? So I remember funding a loan for a realtor. This guy makes about quite a bit of money, over $500,000, right? But guess what? He would rather do bank statement loan because he declares very little, to Uncle Sam. He bought a property for over $1 million using bank statement, only 10% down or 15% down. I remember funding another person. She has a kiosk at Safeway, right? And she showed me her tax returns. She only shows $20,000. But I said, do you have 1099? Oh, she showed me a 1099. She makes over $170,000. We're able to fund that, only 10% down. And guess what? We only need about 5% of our own money for reserves. The rest, no. So imagine now, with this knowledge and the empowerment I'm giving you, you can now cater to a lot of buyers. And I believe that as the market is changing, you are going to have more buyers. You're not going to have those crazy bidding wars anymore. You're not going to have that. Now is a time for buyers, and this buyers includes self-employed people. People who are priced out. People who are sitting on the fence, and they were just fed up. They had this fatigue. Now it's time for them to come out, and you have to cater to those people. So I give you the power to provide these solutions to our buyers, to our people. You have to arm yourself to be a buyer's agent. Is it a good time to buy? Yes, it's a good time to buy. Is it a good time to sell? Yes, it's a good time to sell. And I'll tell you that on another video, right? Because if somebody bought a property in Newark, for example, and 10 years ago, in 2012, and the value of that property was only $352,000, but today the same property is $1.5 million. If in 2012 they only put down 10% of that property that they bought, okay, or they did FHA and put down 3.5%, but let's say they put down 10%, okay, that is only $35,000 that they put down, and now they have a ton of equity in the property, $1 million equity. So they did not earn that money. They put down less than $50,000, and today they have $1 million equity in the property that they can walk away even after paying realtor fees. Is it a good time to sell? You bet it's a good time to sell. You bet it's a good time to sell. So, and that's for another day. But today we're talking about how can empower you, the realtor, to do very well. So I've talked about what? I've talked about my history, having been in real estate since 2005, bought my first house in 2001. As you may tell, I wasn't born in America. I was born abroad. As a matter of fact, I was born in Africa, and then I went to school in England, and then I went to work in Taiwan. And then I've been in California since 2001, right? Bought my first house in 2002, like I said. So I know real estate like the back of my hand. So now let's talk about the third thing. Okay, I'm super obsessed about your success. Upset about the success. Say your riches are in your niches. So guess what? We're talking about me, my history. I want to talk about the kinds of loans that I offer with the money market, the Amazon for mortgage solutions. But it doesn't end there. It talks about me, super obsessed about your success. And let's take a moment here and think about sports. Steve Kerr, who's a coach of the Warriors, okay? Do you think he really needs money to coach? Do you think he needs that? No, he doesn't need money. When he played Chicago Bulls, man, he already won some championships. And even with the Warriors, he won 3 championships already. Does this guy need the money? No. But do you think he's going to resign? No. He finds his calling in this. His calling is leading these young people to more and more victory. Now they have 4 championships on their sleeves. This is it. He's found his calling. Do you think Stephen Curry wants to leave the Warriors and go play somewhere else? No. Do you think Draymond Green wants to leave the Warriors and go play somewhere else? You bet not. How about Klay Thompson? Do you think he wants to go somewhere else? No. They've found their niche. They've found their niche. Your riches are in your niches. Me, because of my experience as a real estate broker, and I found my niche. It's you, the agent, the real estate agent. I want you to be hyper successful. See, I've had the experience of being a real estate broker, and now as a mortgage person, I bring the solutions to you to make you prosper. So I'm super obsessed about your success. I understand your pain and your aspirations, and I go the extra mile to fulfill the latter. I provide solutions, like I mentioned, that cater to your W-2 employees as well as the self-employed borrowers, and it's increasing the spectrum of the buyers that your realtor, you, can work with, making sure your pipeline is always full. I will conduct Zoom interviews or in-person interviews with your clients to make sure that the client is well informed about the loan programs that are available out there, that we have out there, even including no money down and down payment assistance programs. I want to talk about that some other time. So it's empowered, your client's empowered to make the best decision for themselves and their family. Okay? My team and I will follow up with your client till the transaction closes, because I believe that if your client is happy, you are happy, and you get more business. Now, let's talk about the last thing here. I said, remember, we're talking today about you have a friend in the mortgage industry, and that's me, Paul LeJoy. Okay? And I talked about my own experience, and I talked about the loan programs that we provide through the Money Market Inc. And talk about being obsessed about your success. And now I'm going to talk about the spotlight. I'm going to spotlight you in the media. What does that mean? My first degree back in England is in radio, film, and television production. So I believe visibility equals profitability. Can you imagine if everywhere you went, you had billboards, on billboards along the freeways, I-101, I-880, I-280, I-680, and the rest. Everywhere you went, and there were billboards, and that's you. They see you. They see you. Can you imagine that? Visibility equals profitability. How about if I tune on to radio and listen, and hear about you, and newspapers hear about you online? I go on Facebook, I go on social media, I see you. How about if I went, on television, I watch television, I see you. And everybody's talking about you. How about when I went home, it's your listing again, I see your flyers. Visibility equals profitability. I believe in that. So, and I do my best. The number one TV network right now is YouTube. Number one TV network is YouTube. And guess what I want to do? With YouTube, therefore, I can do what? I can make sure that you got the best exposure ever. I will sit down with you and interview you, take the best out of you. I want to be the Oprah of YouTube. Interviewing real estate agents and small business owners in the Bay Area and propelling them to the next level, so that now with the videos that I produce and that are free, you can do what? You can basically showcase that to your sellers and your buyers, your sphere of influence. You can take that. It's great. I've interviewed some agents and they have more traction on my channel than anywhere else. Go to the 2 channels that I have. Okay, one's called All About the Bay. Another one is the Money Market Show. All About Bay showcases small business owners in the Bay Area. Some of them have testimonials. They've never had that kind of success in terms of exposure, in terms of visibility. We'll give them that. These are 2 popular channels I have there. And the next one is the Money Market Show, which is basically I interview real estate agents like you. Because if you're watching this, I assume that you are a top agent, right? And so I love to interview you. I would love to interview you and give you all the publicity that you need. I can come to your place of work. I can come to your beautiful listing, and come to any place that you want, so that I can make you shine, and I can even do a Zoom if you cannot meet in person. I can do a Zoom with you. So whatever you decide to do, I'm here to give you the best spotlight. And all of this is free. All of this is free. So you can have an appointment. You set up an appointment. You can call my numbers right there, 415-510-0127. Or you can go to my website, themoneymarketinc.com. Again, today I was talking about introducing myself and why you should do business with me. Why you should actually pick up the phone and call me. Because it's all about you. I want you to be successful. I want you to be successful. And I'm not saying I have all the answers, but I know what I have. And my role right now is, can I make you as a realtor shine? Can I make you shine? Can I make you shine? If I do that, I will have fulfilled one of my purposes. So thank you so much for watching today. If you like what I've shared with you, please indicate that you like this video. Just like it. And you can share it. You can share this video to your colleagues in your office, or with your colleagues in your office. You can comment. Right? Thank you so much for watching. Until next time. Okay. Please subscribe to the channel. You got to subscribe to the channel, because I'll be producing a series of videos for you to watch. And I'll be talking about the loan programs in detail. So until next time, this has been Paul LeJoy. Thank you so much.